Yes. Yes, here we go. No. No. Oh my God, no. No, I don't believe it.
Hello. Yes, sorry about that. You've caught me just after a heartbreaking boss fight death. I was doing so well, did everything right, then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I'm dead. Like, this was my best run for ages. I honestly thought this was the one. I was at that point where adrenaline overload was making my hands shake. I was ready to hurl that controller on the sofa in celebration, and then, endorphins shut down. My happy hormones flushed into the pit of my stomach, where they bubbled into sour despair. So close, yet so far.
Here are the 7 most heartbreaking ways you can lose a boss fight. And most of the time, it won't even be your fault.
Number 1. When the boss has hardly any health left and you get greedy. This happens especially when you're up against a really tough boss. You know, a boss where you have to have 100% concentration 100% of the time. You play slow, you whittle down that health bar, chipping away bit by bit, resisting the urge to spam combos because you know full well that if you drop your guard for just one moment, it's all over.
Then you get to that stage where the boss has the tiniest sliver of health left, and you just can't resist going for it.
About 20 minutes of bottled tension comes spewing forth in a flurry of button presses, your hero swinging wildly, emboldened by a law of averages that suggests at least one of these blows has to hit and take down that boss for good. And then comes the heartbreak. Your combo goes wrong. Maybe you flail and miss, your animation locking you into a futile succession of swats at thin air. Maybe you hit the boss's armor. The crucial thing is you've opened yourself up for the counterattack, and the boss only needs one opportunity.
No! 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 No!
No!
No!
You're now at the mercy of the one thing against which you've been meticulously guarding for the last goodness knows how long.
A devastating knockout punch from the boss, now able to sidestep your defense with ease and chomp away at your health bar like it's the appetizer at an all-you-can-eat buffet. Heartbreaking. You were so close, but you got greedy, and now you're going to have to do it all again. Entry 2 seems properly harsh because most of the time it's not even your fault, and that is when a companion NPC death leads to a game over. You know, you could be there fighting the best boss fight of all time, dodging everything, raining down the hellfire, but silly old Mr. Get in the Way has stumbled into the line of fire and been obliterated in seconds.
So really, you failed not because you're bad at fighting the boss, but because you're a bad babysitter.
And it's not always AI companions either. Has anyone ever been really up against it in an MMO, fighting one of those bosses where everyone has to be doing their job perfectly, otherwise the entire team is done for? Yeah, that. Either you'll get some idiot doing a full-on Leroy Jenkins and stamping through the fragile web of tactics you've carefully built up, or it'll be you having to break cover and revive them that causes the entire house of cards to come crashing down. Most of the time, we like to blame anything but ourselves for when we come up short during boss fights.
But when it is literally not your fault, oh my God.
Number 3, and this one is pitiful. When you misjudge when to use a health potion, get stuck in the I'm drinking a health potion animation, leave yourself open for attack, and before you can down it, the boss downs you. This is another one that happens lots in Dark Souls because, let's be honest, it takes some flipping ages to drink those Estus potions, doesn't it?
What's that? I should use an Estus flask. Good idea. First, to stow my hatchet. Must keep that safe. And now, where did I keep my flask? Of course, amongst my robes. Now, let's be careful. Don't want to spill any of life's juice. Ah, yes, the aroma of health. I shall enjoy this. Bottoms up. Badger!
Number 4 is very specific, but I wanted to include it in this list because when it happened all those years ago, it really did feel as though someone had reached inside me and turned out all the lights. I was playing Final Fantasy VII. Emerald Weapon was a devastatingly tough boss I'd lost to many times. I'd poked it out of curiosity when way underleveled, which, as any Final Fantasy veteran will tell you, is like poking a hornet's nest, only the hornets have punching fists instead of stings. This time, however, I was prepared. I'd leveled up, I'd got my strategy down. Cloud, equipped with the Mistile,
An accessory that grants you an incredibly high evasion stat.
Knights of the Round materia at 2 stars linked with HP Absorb, Mime, and Phoenix linked with Final Attack. The rest of my team were there to just cheer me on, basically. The fight begins. Cloud casts Knights of the Round. Because it deals so much damage, the HP Absorb effect heals me completely every turn. Plus, Cloud is dodging almost every attack anyway because of the Mistile. I mime Knights of the Round maybe 6 times, and Emerald Weapon hits me with Air Tam Storm. My entire party dies.
But it's okay, I've got Final Attack materia linked to Phoenix, so we're alive again.
I then quickly summon Knights of the Round once again, my second and last available usage of this 2-star materia. But it's okay because I've got Mime. I only need to do another 3 or 4 mimes to win the battle. It's the home straight. I'm shaking with adrenaline. I'm actually going to do this. This legendary creature, a challenge that seemed simply insurmountable at the start, I'm now going to overcome. But then Emerald Weapon attacks Tifa. Tifa has counterattack materia equipped, so she counterattacks. And now, when Cloud uses Mime, he mimes Tifa's basic attack instead of Knights of the Round. I can't resummon because I've already used it twice, and my HP Absorb trick is now useless. And so, slowly, inevitably, Emerald Weapon is able to casually pick my heroes off one by one with no chance of me being able to rid the beast of the last 200,000 or so hit points it has left. Game over again.
Usually, I would rage at this, but instead, I just went very quiet and very sad.
Entry 5 is when you lose on the easy bit. This can happen during a tough multi-stage boss fight when you've been concentrating loads on the bit that's really difficult, and so start to take for granted your ability to get through the routine stuff. Or maybe your nerves are just so fried from having to survive the tough bit that mentally you choke when it gets to something comparatively easy. Please share your own examples of this in the comments, but one specific example that always springs to mind for me is the fight with Cortex at the end of Crash Bandicoot Warped.
This took me forever to beat when I was a kid. I must have fought Cortex about 20 times.
And the bit that caught me out more often than not, smacking him down the hole when he's just lying on the ground. The easy bit. I've dodged all of his projectiles, avoided all the explosions, leapt over Aku Aku and Uka Uka having their really inconveniently placed face-off in the middle of the arena, smacked Cortex off his hoverboard thing. All I had to do was sink a simple putt Cortex into the hole from 2 yards. But could I do it?
Could I heck? I had that thing where my hands were shaking with premature elation. I was all ready to celebrate my victory.
And this loss of cool was my downfall. Similarly, maybe you're fighting a boss with loads of different parts. Maybe you beat all the parts but one. Maybe you kill off all of the mobs. You're on the home straight. Just reel that sucker in, but your concentration slips. Complacency leaks in. You make a stupid mistake and bam, game over. Number 6, when you get distracted.
Is whilst, like New Zealand and South Africa, they've already faced each other. Wales have faced Australia. Ireland, Scotland, although that's not necessarily the same thing. Like, England just haven't faced any big opponents yet, so it's really hard to tell how well we're looking. We've beaten Tonga and USA, which we should have. Like, everyone expected that to happen. So did we do it in the fashion we wanted? Like, yes and no. There were some really good bits, but there were some bits that weren't that good. and they got the job done. I think we've conceded the least amount of points in the tournament so far, or we had done like a few weeks ago anyway. And I guess the main test is going to be tomorrow with Argentina, which we should win, but there's like that nagging bit of doubt in the back of my mind, you know? Are you even listening to me?
I can't help but listen to you.
And our final entry, the absolute worst, the ultimate boss fight heartbreak, when you have to pause it, but you can't pause it. Usually this will happen during an online game. Obviously you can't pause online games, and something will happen that requires your immediate attention. Here are some of my favourites. The fire alarm goes off.
Oh, for crying out loud! Of all the times!
Your takeaway arrives.
Oh, not now, not now! My worst one happened when I was playing Bloodborne. I was new to the game and didn't realise that what I thought was pausing the game wasn't actually pausing the game.
Rob? Yeah? Can I just borrow you for a sec?
What's up?
Yeah, it's just, I was just wondering about the aircon.
Yeah.
With the electrician, has he replied yet?
No, I'm trying to get a hold of him. I have texted him as well, but he's still not replied to that. Oh, for crying out loud! Oh, I thought that was a pause button. I thought that was a pause.
Heartbreaking. The no pause, can't do anything about it, boss defeat. It's happened to us all at some point. Let us know your own tales of boss fight woe in the comments. Give us a like if you enjoyed the video, and hit that notification bell so you're always up to date with the latest Friday feature. Thanks for watching, and see you again soon.
For the players.